gonna be on TikTok. That's all my eyes can see. Victory is mine. Yeah, surprisingly.
Well, CBC is an interesting story. When I retired in 2011, my wife just came home from Iraq. She'd been gone a year, and we decided to zero out our life, make things simple. And this is really how it started. Wanted to build an outreach program to get towards the college students, you know? And we had no idea what would happen the moment we got the program going. And you fast forward a year and a half later, and we've got a whole bunch of trophies and a bunch of victories, and from what I can tell, it's going to keep growing. Some of the other things that I push is you have to train like you're going to compete. And I learned that from the Army. It's always you practice how you're gonna go to war, you know. So it's the same here.
I'm Craig Hollis, 23 years old, born and raised in Estacada, Oregon. I was running one morning and Caleb Lau, came up to me and he's like, "Hey, you're a wrestler, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, how'd you guess?" He's like, "Oh, you guys all have the same stature." He's like, "Yeah, my name's Caleb," and we kind of hit it off when we were running around. He's like, "Well, I'm, kind of the president of a new founded boxing club here at Oregon State. Just come check it out." And then in there literally like every day ever since.
I tend to think that Craig is not afraid of anything. I think that he is a rock. He has a heart that won't stop. Even if he's athletically outperformed, Craig won't stop unless his leg gets ripped off and he bleeds out on the floor. He just won't stop. He'll keep going. He just will keep going. If you want to be good at any sport, you have to put the time in. You can't just show up to practice and get good at practice. If you want to be truly good at something, you have to put extra time in. And that means getting up in the morning, doing your push-ups, your stretches, loosening the body up, doing your ab work, doing your pull-ups, doing your squats, doing your swimming. These are all things that you got to add into your workout.
It makes me feel great and accomplished every morning when I wake up, and I know that soreness is going to pay off.
Mike Chasko. Mike came to us at 17 years old. He came to Oregon State as a 17-year-old freshman. He can move and he's very accurate. He can move and be at different places all the time and pull some crazy dynamic stuff out, to the point where you're like, how did he just do that?
My name is Mike Chasko from Los Angeles County. And I told him what I was doing. I was like, "Hey, I'm looking at all the different combat sports." And they said, "Oh, I think there's a boxing club like down the road." And I'm like, all right, I gotta check this place out. So I just drove down there one day and they were all training. So jumped in, dude. Yeah, that was that.
Like when I first started coming, I got to know the coaches a little bit. They, because they kind of took interest into me. And so it was kind of cool to see their different personalities. Dan's former military, he boxed for the Army. And then George was a professional boxer. And so they're two amazingly experienced people from, two different realms. Dan's a little younger and George is a little older, but they know so much about the sport of boxing.
When you first meet Dan, he kind of comes off as a badass, He's that old school boxing coach and you're just kind of like, geez, dude, this guy's intense. He's yelling at you, keep going, you got more. He has all these crazy good motivation quotes and you're just kind of like, dang, dude. But then, after practice, once he's done, pushing everyone past their limits, you kind of meet the other Dan, who's just kind of a normal guy, and he's really funny actually. So he's two sides. He's the coach and he's the friend. I mean, I think for everybody, they can kind of sort of say that he's pushed them past what they ever thought they could do, at least for me.
So the relationship between the Corvallis Boxing Club and Life Community Church is pretty cool because as a boxing club, we're considered like an outreach program for the Life Community Church, and in doing so, they help us out a lot because they pay for where we train. They keep the lights on, so we try to pay our respect.
Without the church, we wouldn't even be here. So I mean, the church is pretty much the lifeline for us. And I mean, we're always trying to do as much as we can and show our appreciation for what they do for us, man. So I mean, the CBC is essentially just a huge family with everyone that goes. I mean, you show up to practice and you see these guys like day in and day out, and you kind of create a special bond with them because you're punching them in the face and you're sitting there doing push-ups next to them, like cringing and yelling, and they're cringing and yelling too, and you're pushing them and they're pushing you, day in and day out.
See everybody's perspective on life, and it's awesome because it is like a big family.
Because as boxing coaches, that's what we do. We're not just teaching people to just go in and rumble. Our goal is to teach people to become better people. That's what we do. We teach them. It's a mentoring program for leadership and what they can do to improve their lives. The most important role as far as between athlete and coaches is that ability to communicate with each other. What boxing brings to you and brings to the sport as far as something that you develop and learn that you carry for the rest of your life is confidence. It really does. Confidence in yourself. You know that you have gone through some trials to get where to do what you've done. It takes courage to get in the ring and spar. It takes courage to show up to a boxing class. I like saying that take your hand off of the parking brake. Get yourself rolling. Don't hold yourself back. Just go for it. Just go for it. What do you got to lose? If you worry about failing, you'll never succeed. Everybody fails. Eventually you find the right combination and you win.